Hello friends, my name is Renuka and today I will show you how to create this mushroom spread as a fodder, how to draw them, how to stomp them, how to color them, how you can use them in a different ways in your paper crafting project. I divided this process in the two videos, so this one is the first video. So let's jump into the process of making these mushrooms. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's project I'm going to show you how I created some blooms and lamps and then I put the salt to create these kind of beautiful fabric blooms. Mostly I do these kind of exercise in the sketchbook, but this time I decided to use the paper here. This is not a very good paper, but I use the inks from Ecoline as well as some watercolor. I mostly use the Cotman series Newton watercolor, but those blooms are really nice. I didn't shoot the video how I created because at that time it's a night. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm watching TV and doing something like that. And then the simple method, I just drew some of these and just put the same ink there, so get these kind of bloomy effect. So I will show you how to create this, as well as I'm going to show you how we can create these small mushrooms also. You can create with these things, you can create the flowers, you can create the other stuff also. So here I'm just removing this tape and I will show you how I did this so that you will understand the full process, how you can make this. If anytime you have a problem with removing your tape, you can just heat up it a little bit and that glue will leave the tape properly. Now you can see I have this stick here, but it's totally fine. And on this side also I'm gonna just remove the things. So, and then I will dust all this extra salt on it. So now you can see this paper, how beautiful this paper is. And mostly I go with the greens and blue together, yellows and reds together. So that is my way of doing, but you don't have to follow the same way. You can make a rainbow also. For the first one I use Canson XL, and for this one let's see how beautifully this arches work for this one. So I just took Arches 300 lb hot press watercolor paper. You can have the other one also, not mine. I'm gonna use the same tapes I used before because I don't mind. I'm again creating the same kind of effect with the blue one. So sometimes what happen when you reuse the tape, they will not that sticky, and that's a plus point. But if your tapes are too sticky, you can just go ahead and put the, I'm gonna put a border like that, and you're gonna just put the tape on your hand like this, or you can just put on your cloths, and that will reduce the stickiness of your tape. Or another technique is you can just pull that down from stick on your cloths and just keep it. So this is the tape I'm using. This one is the masking tape. So this is the Scotch brand masking tape, and you can use any painter's tape or something like that. Use the same tape so you will get the same kind of all around frame. And if you don't mind, then it's okay, you can use any. So this is just a hardboard I bought from the Blink, and then I put one silicone mat on it. And now the fun part began. So I have lots of these brush. I have two water jars, one for the clean water and one for washing the brushes. So let's begin with the giving a light wash to it. So I will use the clean water for the light wash, and sometimes your water have tilt and shades up. So this brush is having a little bit green, but I don't mind because this green is also going here. That's why I'm telling you that you should use the different tape if you are getting the different color board here. And after doing this, so there are now two options. You can use directly these kind of these are watercolors inks, EcoSprint inks. You can use these and they're gonna bloom just like that. I hope you can see the bloom. Don't worry about the bubbles. You can pop them or they'll go disappear after some time. And then if you want to move them really, you can use the different kind of water sprays on them. Like if you use these kind of spray, or you just drop a little bit of water to get more bloom. Sometimes you just give a little bit direction. Most of the times I love to use the inks. These are Hero Arts inks. You can use these, or I'm just going out of this ink, green ink, and in that I use the green ink a little bit. But what they give more vibrancy, and the same time what happen when you use the different kind of products in there, it will give you a more. This is also out of run, but I just love this Hero Art green ink also. I should buy that more. Let me see if I have more green ink, and I don't have more green ink, but it's totally fine. That is the one thing. Other thing, to create bloom, I use these little bit of copper golden ink. It's from Dr. Martin, and you can move your paper also, right? You have lots and lots of color going on there, so you can move your paper also. I just want to remove all this, and then you can move your paper a little bit. You can see the saturation of color this side and that side, and you can just, you know, or you can put the extra paper to get more ink out of it. That is the another way of doing. I'm kind of little bit waiting to them to go more. Sometimes I can give the directions also, this little bit of direction to get that color inside. Although I don't want much brush strokes here, particularly for, I can just put more. Particularly for this piece, what I did is, now wherever you have the more water, you can put the more of your bigger pieces of salt, and that gonna soak that thing very nicely, you can see, and that will create a bigger bloom there. Okay, so I just want to add, I use the rock salt to get a bigger bloom. You can use the normal salt also, whatever salt you have at home. So mostly I didn't put my color mix salt in this jar. This is like, I'm just reusing any kitchen jar, but then I'm gonna just put this salt here, and you can see just by dropping few bolts there, that is just kind of sucking the color. Now here you have to remember, whatever colors you are using, put that color salt in a one bottle. Like, you can't put the green salt, this salt rock, on the yellow thing. That will give you a different effect. If you want to achieve that effect, that's totally fine. That is totally go. But if you don't want to, then be aware of what you're doing. And then I'm just moving a little bit the colors here and there, because there is a lots of water going on here, and particularly for this one I have less green, and before we have more green. Then you can use these kind of brush to, you know, just put the drops if you don't want the white color there, so that gonna just mix a little bit and give you a less white area. And then you can add more to this, that like you can add the alcohol inks to it also. So these are the alcohol inks from, I think, Ranger, and you can add a little bit of blue. I think, should I add blue? So you have to see. And another thing I add in the last one is this pearl powder. This is also from the Ranger. So trick to add this one is very simple. I'm going to just choose a little scrap, and then I'm going to just put this little bit where I see the water, and some of the splatter I will put more. You can put this in the water and create your own small spray. And then you can see there is, then I can add a little bit of more water to this spritz. So at this moment I'm kind of waiting and seeing that how they're gonna look. Maybe I can add few drops here and there with this ink, so you can see the effect, the blooming effect. Wherever I feel that there is less color, I can add that. So if I put the another paper on it, I will get the everyday texture, which I got many times, and I already showed you that kind of paper and texture the channel before. So now we have to wait it for dry, let it dry totally, then only we can work with this. So this is the one thing. I'm gonna pick up the whole tray and set it aside for drying. And that will take more time. So you can see here, those are blue moors and these are like green moors. And I add little bit different colors also here, whatever at that moment feel to do it. Now for particularly this one, I will show you how to create these small mushrooms, and it's a very easy trick. I created other stuff also, which I will share, like a flower and other stuff. So actually I'm doing some kind of online class where I'm just sketching this, and then suddenly I don't want to do, I don't know, sometimes it's happened with me. So I'm just putting this water blob, then another water blob, okay, and then in these water blobs I'm going to just put a little bit of ink to bloom. You can see. So I created these kind of stuff. I tried to create a flower with this stuff, but at the time it didn't work well. I will show you that also. Why it didn't work? Because I put a more blob and it's a bigger space. And where is that? Okay. So you have to wait to dry it. So I created these ones first. So these ones, just I put the water and then I started with the red ones and then I add the yellow ones. But then I got these kind of lines. I want to mix them and then I stopped mixing them. And then I thought, okay, we can do this. And then I just give a little bit of direction if I want that shape is not that good. So this we are doing when we are in college. This is not a unique technique which I discovered. No, it's already there. But what we do at that time, we just took a watercolor and then we just draw something. I'll show you that also. Like if we are here drawing the mushrooms, we'll draw the mushroom, the basic shape with the colored water that we used to do at the time, and then grab the palette. Okay, so then we grab the palette and we can have, okay, if you want which color, we can take Hookah's green or this emerald green, and then we can just putting the blooms there. The more the water, it get a more time to dilute it. Lesser the water, it will dry easily and fast. But if you want the vibrancy in them, you want to add for the bloom, you have to add the very nice pigmented colors for them. So sometimes these watercolors didn't give that kind of bloom, but the inks do. Okay, so if I put the drop of just small ink and it gonna just, you know, go all over the thing, and you can just manipulate a little bit to see which side you want the saturation, or you can just turn fully around and see how you like it. And these are the watercolors, so you can, you know, do anything. Like for this brown one, I just put one brown dot just like that. You can do that here also. You can do now here, wherever is the water, only that side it will flow. If there is no water, it will not flow, it will not give that bloomy effect. So you have to wait until them dry, and after drying them, that one is my experiment there. So I use this pen to just draw the small lines while doing the class. So I have that pen with me, so I just decided to add that thing to this. So let them dry and then I will show you my mushroom obsession. So this I already created. I don't know you might see it or not before, but you can see that we created these papers before, the same format. So these are the mushrooms which I put for the reference that maybe I'll draw one day or something like that. And there are so many things going on. So these are my reference image. Maybe I can draw the same reference here, or maybe I'll just, you know, skip that thing and I will draw the something else, or maybe I'll draw the same thing with the other color. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to incorporate those mushrooms here at the same time, how I'm going to color this one. So this side I want a light wash here. I don't want the blank page. If you feel that your page might be, you can put one page behind it for protection. Now remember, my brush is having some kind of color, so you just capture that color for the wash. And I can use some color from my dirty palette also. So I can have a little bit of these purples shade, which is kind of again a very dirty palette. I don't want that blanks thing there, so I'm just adding the color. You don't have to add the color if you're okay with the white page. I just want to match this page, not exactly, not the same shades, but a little bit of color I want. And then I decided to add a little bit of this dirty brown mixed color from my palette, and I'm gonna just put little wash to ground it the things. Okay, so we're gonna give some time them to dry, and we can draw the lines. You can directly draw the line. I want to share one more thing which I bought, the new supplies. I bought the pen, the ink pen. Okay, so this is I bought from the Amazon. I'll put the link. And I bought it because I can put the waterproof ink inside it. Okay, and I'll show that waterproof ink also. So I can do a simple line drawing here. I can mimic the same shapes here. And whenever many people have that kind of phobia, like, you know, they can't draw on the white paper. For them, it's like, why we are drawing on the white paper? So we can do that. So I told you how I create that paper. You can create the same thing on the paper. Here I'm just going brave and, you know, adding directly with the pen. Sometimes you don't have to be perfect every time, like, you know, you can have some things. Then I'm gonna draw this. Now remember, this is just a reference image. I'm not making any perfect thing here, so that will give me a room to, you know, draw and become sketchy and become muddy, and just like that. I don't have to be perfect every time. That pressure. Whenever you saw the beautiful drawings of something like, oh wow, how that sketchbook look, or something like that, and mine was not looking like that, and you have that fear like mine was not looking like that, and that fear stop you for doing the things. Sometimes I just scroll and scroll. Like today, I scrolled so many things, and then I realized that I didn't draw anything, or I didn't do anything. So sometimes we are just scrolling rather than doing something. So now look here, I'm just taking that reference of that image. It should not be look the same. It can be look same. You can copy it, you can take a reference, you can just see and draw the stuff, like whatever you are seeing, you can draw that stuff. So it's totally depend on you how you want to do. You can color on it if you want. I'm just heading and making a really rough sketch here, if I can say that. And then I love to draw these lines with the pen. It's so meditative, so I just decided to make two small lines. Now whenever you start these kind of stuff, what everything is going in the core, basic idea is divide the thing. You might learn this like me when you are a kid or you might not, but in India, we have these kind of exams where, like, when we are 5th and 8th grade, before that, we give this elementary and intermediate exams where we have to draw the real life, the imaginary one. They have like 4 to 6 subjects, geometry, and then that will help you to go to other exams like the entrance for the architect and other stuff. But these are the small things I learned at that time at very early age. So in my full art journey, it's with me, and I use the same thing. So some will go really very close, and they're gonna make a one point where they will meet, and some will be more further and far away. So it's still totally fine. If you got still overwhelmed with the big space, how to cover it, you can still divide that space again to get that thing. Like here again, I will show you. I can just change the contouring of the things to look more naturalistic. You can do this also. And then I'm just dividing this. So whenever I'm drawing the lines, I will focus only on this one area. Then I'm focusing on this area. Some lines you will not get the full one, some lines will you get the half one, but it's totally worth it to try this exercise. And mostly I use the rotary pen to draw this because I have that architecture background and I have those pens for the ears. And but fountain pen is also nice, and I will show you which ink I use in this fountain pen. It is refillable pen. So Doodles ink is waterproof ink, and you can use that. This one, okay, I bought it from Amazon. And if you feel that if you want to check that you have a very fine tip, micron pens are also there. If you find that it's not that fine tip marker, or if you find that, let me see if my marker is waterproof or not, you don't have to go and Google and search the name of the marker. You just have to take a scrap paper, like any scrap paper. If I have the scrap paper, I will draw something with that pen, let it dry for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna spritz it with water, or just I'm gonna put some droplets of the water on it. And if it like it's waterproof, it will. Now you can add these kind of textures and lines extra, okay, to get that kind of depth here. You can add this with the watercolors also. You can do both the pen and ink drawing like that, so that you will get more and more texture in the process. You can use the full micron pens, and they have that different width. You can use that also. Like for the borders you use different, for the inside lines you use the finest one, and like that. So look, if it's there, I want to just put the water there. So you have to see like that, and you can find that whatever paints you have, are they waterproof or not. And if you're not planning to do such kind of thing, don't even bother about it. Like, it's totally fine, whatever it is, it's totally fine. So here we draw this. We can draw one here also if we want to, this side also. And I can remove the full, like this I just stick here, right? So I can remove this totally also, or I can just fold it while drawing it. And I'll show you how you can add more colors to them. So you can go ahead and use your, where are my watercolors? You can use the watercolors, or you can use that simple inky thing also. Like, I can put the water only on the top of this body. Now remember, when I did this thing, okay, then I did the paper. This one is the like sprays, and these sprays are like few from Okay, sometimes it's like really you need to stop talking while doing this. So some of the sprays are from the Hero Art, some of the frames are Tim Holtz. So like those sprays maybe sometimes resist the thing that you can't get paint on that with the watercolors or something like that. So this is the nice way to try your mediums also, like which medium goes well with this, or you can just try, don't be bothered what happened, it work or it will not work, nothing gonna happen more than that, right? And then I'll add a little bit of this blue here so you can see that transparent effect I got, whatever left in my brush. And then I just, now here I didn't get the blooming effect because I used the brush, but again if you want the blooming effect with this, I'm gonna choose the green as we are going today, green and blue theme. And then I can add just a bit of it, to just 3 drops of it to get that, and it's gonna mix. Watercolor will do their own work, you don't have to do more work there, and you have to wait until it dry. So this is the thing, or next thing what I'm planning to do is I want to cut this and put it here or here, so we can create that kind of by adding these kind of stuff here, but I have to fussy cut out them, and I'm gonna put this away so that it will dry properly. Fussy cutting is not a big task. How I did is I just I'm gonna just use this. Where is the, okay. Oops. You can use the Posca pen for highlights. You can use these kind of Microns pens, and what I'm talking about is this pen, which I mostly use at that time, and I'm still having this pen. So this is having a very nice tip. I'll show you how I did it. Okay, I just turn it around because my hand's gone on this. So, and then I just put this around it. Again, I just draw the bottom part of the mushrooms, something like that. You can draw and make more doodle on it, but this is that fine pen. This is 0.5. You can use this, or you can use your Microns pen. And then, so what I want to add them, I can add the flowers on them, I can make a really fun effect out of them, but like this I created the full body. And then I'm gonna just move this scissors or paper how I want to require. I always say the bigger the picture, the bigger the scissor, the smaller the picture, the smaller the scissor, and you can do it with the smaller or bigger both the scissors when the picture is medium, like this. And then this is my Cuttlebee scissor, and I have this for a long time. I have the second one also, when sometimes I put it in a bag. Okay, now here we can add more fun to this by adding the white dot with the Posca pens or something like that. So I can doodle on this, that will look also good, but at this moment I don't want to doodle or like show you something, because I want to create those pages together. And if I find that pages are going nicely together, and I gonna go with the theme with the doodle or something like that, then only I doodle on them. So most of the times I love to keep the stuff as simple as I can, and then after putting them, I can, on the main thing, I can add the more thing, or you don't stick on them. So if you mess with the stuff, like if I want to doodle flowers on it, or the dots on it, the polka dots on it, so don't stick them, but just give the first idea that how you want to use them, so that before sticking them you have the idea, and then you can doodle them. Okay, so let's see if it's dry or not. And then I can add these mushrooms here, or I can add these mushrooms here also, because everything is going on the same theme. Now you can see that there is some water is there, and it's getting a little bit grayish color, but still that line is there. It's not like totally gone, it's still there. And for this also we can do the same thing. So this mushroom is quite a big one. I'll try to put the water inside the top of the mushroom, and I'm gonna just put here, and you can see that water is not going the same way it's going when we have this same thing in the plain watercolor paper. Now this is getting more tougher because this surface is a little bit slick because of those inks, but definitely we will manage. And then here I want to add a little bit of brown on this side, and as this water is not moving the way I want, I'm gonna just pick the brush and give a little bit direction to the area where I want the color. You can see many illustrations there and other stuff for seeing the combinations of the mushroom. This is my own invention because I like these three colors together. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a try. And then I have lots of brown color on here, like, you know, you can put salt on them and create a beautiful pattern out of it. And maybe we can do right now here. So let's put the salt. The bigger the salt, the bigger the blob, right? So I'm gonna put this inside, and then I can put one big here, few on this side, maybe few on this side. So it is kind of picking that color also. So that color will pick there. Maybe it's create a bloom, or maybe it's not. We can add a little bit of golden color with the pens also. But I'm kind of just saying that how it's gonna look. It's having shiny surface there. So I have this simple, what is the Signo? Yeah, Signo 0.8 Uniball pen, where we can add a little bit of golden. Now here I'm seeing that is like taking all the colors. So I gonna put it just like that. You can use any picking tool, crafty tool, to pick it that. But now you can see I'm losing the vibrancy because when I put those salt there, they're gonna take the colors with it. Okay, I'm gonna put it aside. So I didn't have that vibrancy here, but I can try other things like alcohol inks on them maybe, and see that can I get still the, oops. So here you can see I'm just messed up with the shape here, so I have to just put that somewhere, and they are not mixing together. So this is the thing I can, you know, try, cause mostly don't use your brush with the alcohol inks, I suggest that. But yeah, let's see. So it is now very vibrant on the one side, and we can't move this much. I think I'm just putting the water. We can't move that much, so I need to wait them for dry, and then we can add few things to them. Now I'm adding these few strokes of golden from here. I will add few strokes of golden here also. Another thing I want to show you is the watercolors here. This is my palette. Okay, so I'm adding here a little bit of, I have 3 to 4 shades of green in my palette. If you don't have, you can create those shades. I have Hooker's green, I have sap green, I have really creamish texture. This is, and then I'm just adding and filling a little bit here. Now remember, you will not cover the whole stuff with those pen marks. Sometimes they're gonna pop in between just because your color is light, or just because watercolor is having the transparent tendency, and that's totally fine. Okay, that's totally fine. And here the color is moving, and I really like that texture also. And I'll take with more vibrant green, and I'm taking like really nice thick color here. These colors are not diluted because this page, basically this page is already very colorful. So if I put the diluted color, it will not show that much, so I have to see that also. Okay, and then I can add little bit on this side, the same way on this, and then I have to fix this. I have to fix this happy mistake, or whatever mistake it is, but I have to fix this. And I'm just going over the colors. Let me find some way. I'm just adding a little bit of purple there, and then for particularly this one, I can go with the yellow color here. I don't want to touch the yellow with the green, so I'm gonna wait a little bit to dry, and I'm gonna add a little bit of green and pink there to just mix and put those colors together. Mostly this part of the mushroom is mostly in the white and brownish shade. Now remember, we are not doing realistic design here, so if we are not doing realistic, we can add whatever we want, but basic theme is green and a little bit of purple. You can see there a little bit of purple in the background, and then we need to wait to dry them. In between, we can complete the lines. So now we'll compare after drying these. This is almost a night, and now I can do the work and show you. So I use first, this one is this paper. This is Smirnoff watercolor paper, 200 series. And then for particularly this one, we use the Arches paper. So this is 300 GSM 140 LB, and this one, yep, so it's a hot press. Basically I like the cold press paper. I'm not using mostly the Arches. It's a bit costlier. I mostly use Canson watercolor, or I use the artist grade paper. Which artist grade? Okay, Arteza, this one, the Arteza premium watercolor, and they have other version also which is not premium, but I use these two. All of them are acid free. And then I use Canson watercolor also, and sometimes I use the house brands of the Michaels also. So now I'm gonna remove all of this, and what I do exactly I will show you. When I got these kind of colorful salt, I just put it in one container here. Oh my god, this is my kids photo here. Okay, but I mostly put all of this in this container. You can see other colors also, and then I'm planning to collect all of it, and then I wanted to put it maybe on some white paper with the water only, and maybe someday we will do that video how I created this box. That video is already on my channel. And then you can see I still have few granules left on it. I just gonna put them on the sheet, and then we will reveal the drawing. It will easily remove the tape, this masking tape, and that will give you a nice border all around it basically. And then we're gonna compare like which goes best. Both of them have the different qualities, but at the same time what happened now, I add few drops of that bluish alcohol ink on it, which I didn't put here. So let's see. So on this paper I can see this bloom better, which is kind of cheaper paper, but still I can see the bloom better. And this paper I can still see the bloom, and I add these dots, so that create a different kind of thing. But if I change the direction and then I see, I like this better way on my side, so I like this better way. And maybe for this one I'm gonna put this way. Okay, so yeah, now you can directly stamp on this to create the mushrooms or create any kind of shape. I can show you one stamp. I have one stamp. Where is that? Okay, so you can directly stamp on them and then you can cut them, or you can just create only the upper part of the mushroom, and for the bottom part you can choose another color like a brown or something like that. And then you can create these kind of shapes what we draw. I show you before, you can directly draw on them and then you can cut them and put here. That is the another way of doing. And if your printer is inkjet, mine was, it's not taking the watercolor paper, so thick watercolor papers not properly. I have now HP, but before that I have a brother and it took this watercolor paper very nicely. So you can print these kind of images, which is kind of, you will get the free images, and then not only the mushroom, you can draw anything, and then you can just cut out them and then you can put them on the paper. For this one we have a different idea. I just want to show you how it gonna look after drying. So I like these colors so much that I told you that I go with the green ones, and sometimes I go the orange, red and yellows one. So I created lots of backgrounds with them. Like here you can see the rainbow of colors, and then here you can see the same kind of green color. So you can add do this to mixed media. Sometimes I film them, sometimes I don't film the thing what I did. Like here again, the techniques are different. Maybe if I found the footage of all these, maybe one day I will post, but I just want to show you that you can use the same technique in your book also. And I'll show you one more. Maybe like here I use the orange and yellows. Here again I use the same, I use the resist technique here. And here you can see, you can create this kind of stuff and just use those stuff for the mark making. That will give you another awesome effect to the things. I hope you had a fun and got inspired. If you like, don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions or queries, they put them in the comment. I try to help you out in that. So until the next crafty project, have a crafty life. Bye bye.